struggling to know what dog breed to get? Well, guess what? This is the video for you. I'm going to break it down with 5 easy categories, and I'm going to make this choice a little bit more simpler for you. Hi guys, my name is Yannicka, and this is Sit, Stay, Explore. I make videos from Canada about dog training, cycling, and cafe reviews. If you like some of my videos, please like and subscribe so I can continue making good videos for you guys. All right guys, sometimes when you're thinking about getting a dog, the hardest choice can feel like, what breed am I gonna get? I like that dog, or that dog looks cute. Should I get a little dog? Should I get a big dog? You just don't really know where to start. So in this video, what we're going to cover is, why does it matter to pick the right breed for your life? We're going to talk about why bother, okay? Then we're going to talk about breaking it down per lifestyle. I'm going to give you 5 categories of active lifestyles or activeness lifestyles that's going to help us decide how to make that decision, basically. Thirdly, options for each lifestyle. So for each category, I'm going to give you a short list of breeds to consider. Obviously, there's many more breeds in the world, but this is going to give you a little bit of a path forward. And lastly, we're going to talk about bad reasons to pick a dog breed. And there are several, which are sometimes very tempting, but we're going to talk about those too. All right, guys, so let's go to lesson number 1. Why does it even matter? The truth is, it matters a lot. And for the purposes of this video, my message to you is that the very most important thing to consider is how active your lifestyle is. And it's really important to get a dog that matches your lifestyle. Why is that important? Much like picking a partner in life, you want to pick someone who's kind of on your level, right? If you like to be a calm, chilled out person, you probably want a calm, chilled out dog. If you're a psycho who likes to hike and do all these crazy things and always be on the go, then I'm assuming you want a dog who also can keep up with you. So it's really important to get a dog that matches your lifestyle so that your lives can fit nicely together. It matters because you want to have a cohesive life with this dog. I'm assuming you want to live in peace and harmony, and you don't want to be competing for attention or feeling resentment against your dog because they need more walks, etc. So why it matters is because you want to have a happy life with a dog that fits into your life, not some animal that's going to demand so much of you that you can't give, or that you are asking too much of the animal, depending on your lifestyle. So it's really important to pick a dog that matches your life. Secondly, the reason why it matters is plain sustainability, okay? How long can you keep up this lifestyle? Is the way that you live something that you can maintain long term, or is it a short term kind of thing? It really depends, right? Remember, the lifespan of a dog, they're gonna need all your love and attention for maybe 10 to 15 years, knock on wood. So whatever lifestyle that you want for yourself in the future, make sure you can sustain that for 10 to 15 years if you're going to be selecting a dog that's active, for example. The third reason why it matters, guys, is just transition into your life. It would be nice if you just could continue living the way you're living. And of course, you're going to have to make adjustments if you do get a dog, right? You're going to have to get used to taking them out or kind of maybe adjusting your schedule. But you don't want to completely turn your life around. One of the major reasons why it matters is to make the transition of getting a dog less stressful on you. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 categories of lifestyles that is going to help you make your decision. Number 1, and we're starting from lowest level of activity to the highest. The lowest one is sedentary, okay? We're going to break down each one in a little bit, but let's just go over the categories. Sedentary, somewhat sedentary, moderately active, active, very active. Okay, so let's jump right into it. According to the National Institute of Health, sedentary can be categorized as someone who gets less than 5,000 steps a day. That means that you're probably getting up and maybe going outside, but you're not really taking any walks. You like to relax, or you need to relax because of whatever your lifestyle is all about. And you're not someone who's going to be jumping to go on a hike or something like that. And this video is without judgment, so I'm not going to say or assume why you have less than 5,000 steps a day. That's your business. However, we're just going to categorize it using steps, which I find is a really easy way to calculate what lifestyle you fit in. In this category, I want to preface by saying you are not someone who moves quite a lot. So the question is, should you really have a dog? That's my question. I would really spend some time to think about that. And if you are serious about getting a dog and you feel that you have the capacity to handle that and all the responsibility that comes with it, that's great. There's lots of dogs in the world that need good parents, so I would never discourage someone who is willing to take care of a dog to do so. And for this category, I would highly recommend that you consider doing research on low endurance dogs so that you can ensure to get a dog that's okay to have a relaxed lifestyle like you. Some examples in the sedentary category include English Bulldog, Basset Hound, and the Shih Tzu. These are just examples of low endurance dogs who like to cuddle up and lay back with you in the house, watch TV, hang out, and need to go outside for a potty, but don't crave high energy walks or fetch or play sessions. The next category is somewhat sedentary, which can be categorized by the National Institute of Health, not just me, as someone who gets about 5,000 to 7,500 steps per day. And that's someone who's getting out a little bit more, who's maybe not intentional about getting 10,000 steps a day, but is moving around, more than someone who lives a sedentary lifestyle, doing perhaps one short walk or two very short walks a day. This can be kind of the sweet spot for a lot of smaller dog breeds who don't have that much energy but do like to have little gentle walks. Some examples of dogs that fit in the somewhat sedentary lifestyle include, we have the Pug, we have the Cavalier King Spaniel, and we have the French Bulldog. These are dogs that you see quite a lot with older people or people who want to do just little light walks around the neighborhood, nothing too intensive. You're not trying to break a sweat. You're just getting outside to get some sun, and it's kind of a companion dog. So there's a lot of breeds that fit into this category. Moving on to the moderately active category. And this is kind of middle of the road, right? We have 5 categories. This is the one that's right in the middle. It's not sedentary or somewhat sedentary. It's not active or very active. It's somewhere in the middle. You're someone likely who has some conscious effort to be active and try to reach 10,000 steps, but may not always succeed in getting those. So you are getting out and about and maybe doing 1 or 2 walks a day, walking God knows where, and you generally make more effort to be active. In this category, you start to see some larger breeds, which there are some larger breeds in the less active categories, but this is generally where you start to see more larger breeds. So in this category, we have a bunch of lovely breeds. Some of fan favorites here. We have the Labrador Retriever, we have the Beagle, we have the Cocker Spaniel, we have the Poodle, or the Doodle mixes of the world, and we have the Dachshund. So these are the breeds that you usually see at dog parks, friendly neighborhood dog parks, who like to run around in a couple circles, and then they're very happy to cuddle up at home and have a nap. And so they don't really need to have excessive exercise, but they do really enjoy to go out. They crave going out and having a walk in order to feel settled when they get home. So these kind of breeds and other breeds like it are really good for people who like to be outside or want to be outside more often. And that's hard to do in countries where we have intense winter. However, these are breeds that do need to move around and move their bodies in order to feel content. Moving on to the active category. So this is the 4th category of the 5 levels of activity. So this category is for people who aim to or average around 10,000 and 12,500 steps per day. So there are definitely people who minimum try to and succeed in achieving their minimum 10,000 steps per day, which does require some effort and some conscious initiative. Unless you're someone who just has a very busy physical job, say in a hospital, for example, where you're walking a lot, it's someone who is moving their body quite a lot during the day. And now it's really important to keep in mind, right, just because you're active with your steps doesn't mean that you actually have the time in your life, whatever lifestyle that you have. So for example, if you are a nurse or someone who is walking a lot, is very active, but is active because of their job and their job responsibilities, then you have to consider how much of that energy that you have can actually be expended at home when you're with your dog. Because if you waste all your energy while you're at work and you come home and you have an active dog and you don't have the energy anymore to take care of that dog or go on a long walk, then that's not going to work, right? So you do have to kind of consider how much energy you're going to have when you're available to that dog. So in this category, we have a few of my favorite breeds of dogs. We have the Australian Shepherd, we have the German Shepherd, we have the Husky, we have the Pointer, and we have the Rottweiler. So a little bit of bigger dogs, stronger dogs, dogs that really like to run, fetch, work, and need quite a lot more stimulation in order for them to feel settled and rested when they're at home. A lot of people like the breeds in this category and in the moderately active category, mainly because they're mainstream and more popular breeds of dogs. And lastly, we have the very active category, which is for people defined as having an average of about 12,500 steps a day or more, which does take quite a lot of effort. Let me tell you, there are some days where I can make it to 14,000 steps or 15,000 steps, but my legs are tired by the end of the day, and that doesn't happen every day. So this is someone who moves their body quite a lot during the day, whether that's because of their job or because of their hobbies or a mix of the two. These are people who are a little bit cuckoo, okay? It's a bit of an extreme category, right? This is a lifestyle that requires a lot of conscious effort. A lot of conscious effort and a lot of diligence and consistency. Now, there are dogs that fit into this category. They're lovely, smart, very intelligent dogs. However, they're kind of cuckoo as well. So you have to kind of be careful, right? If you're someone who's in this category and you want a dog who is also high energy to keep up with you, if you're someone who, you know, has that free time, then you have to make sure that you're gonna keep having that level of energy for a couple years so that your dog can be happy. And this makes me sad because there's a breed in this category that I absolutely love, but I know that based on my lifestyle, I probably cannot sustain having this dog, and that is the beautiful Border Collie. My dog is a half Border Collie, half Aussie mix. I believe there's something else in there which kind of simmers him down a little bit and simmers down the energy level of the Border Collie, but he definitely has some of the obsessive traits and the working traits like desire to herd, and he really doesn't know how to stop. Like when he's fetching, I have to force him to take a break because he doesn't give himself breaks, and it just looks sometimes like he would work himself to death. So some of the breeds in this category include the Border Collie, the Belgian Malinois, and the Vizsla. I hope I'm saying that right. Vizsla, Vizsla. Google it. These are dogs who need stimulation, who need to be worked physically and probably with their mind as well. That's why you see a lot of these dogs in working environments, like in farms or in policing or in other types of work-related roles. All right, so now that we've gone over the 5 categories of active lifestyles and we've given you a few examples in each category, I want you to take some time and genuinely maybe use an AI or something like that to type in what your lifestyle is, how much time you have, how many steps you do, and try to figure out if the kind of dog you're interested in fits in your category, and be realistic about it, because in the end you don't want to feel like you've made the wrong decision. So it's really important to be realistic when you're thinking about what breed to get and determining what your activity lifestyle is. So now that we've done that, let's go to the fun part, which is bad reasons to pick a dog breed. There are so many, and it's so tempting sometimes because visually you might get kind of attached to a particular breed for a multitude of reasons. We all have our favorites. People tend to have favorites over time. Or if you've had one really good dog, you tend to think that that breed is an excellent dog. Or if you just never had a particular other kind of dog and you don't really want a new challenge, there's so many reasons why people pick a certain breed. And we should preface by saying diversity makes things interesting. Dog breeds are mixing all the time, and that can give you kind of a nice little pseudo effect, kind of like me. I have a half Border Collie, half Aussie, so I get some of the psychotic Border Collie traits, but not all of them. So he's a little bit toned down from the Border Collie and the Border Collie energy. So let's explore some bad reasons to pick a dog breed. The first one is, I can have empathy for this one, which is hypoallergenic. A lot of people will steer towards hypoallergenic dogs because they have allergies or because they don't want shedding. I could understand because of allergies that you are restricted to these categories of dogs. Okay, fine. Let's not talk about you. Let's talk about people who simply don't want a dog that is shedding. My opinion is that if you want a dog, but you don't want a dog who sheds, and that's not because of your allergies, then maybe you shouldn't have a dog, because I guarantee you, your dog will bring some level of mess into your life. Your car is going to be messier, your floor is going to be messier. If they're in your bed's going to be messier. They just kind of come with mess. So if you're someone who's anti-mess, then I would recommend that you don't get a dog. The second one is size, and this is a big one. It does matter to some degree, depending on the size of your house or your bedroom, for example, or the actual physical space you have in your home. But it's not some big dogs are very low energy, kind of like the Great Dane. And then there's little dogs that have a lot of energy, like, for example, the Jack Russell, which is a very high energy dog. So you want to make sure that you're not putting on the blinders, so to speak, when you're thinking about size. Size may be important for your lifestyle. However, you want to make sure that that size also correlates to your activity lifestyle. The third one is cuteness or coolness. We've all been out at the market or walking down the street and we see someone with the most adorable puppy. And sometimes, or usually I should say, the puppy version of a breed is usually what gets us. Cuteness is important, obviously. Sometimes you feel that connection when you see an animal that is just so darn cute or cool. But that cuteness doesn't mean that they're going to fit into your life. For example, my wish to have a border collie, right? They're adorable, so cute, especially when they're puppies. But I think that I would probably not be able to live up to the border collie's needs. Another reason is status breed. Some people want to or seek a breed because they like the status that comes with it. I want you to think of that. Maybe it's the last time you saw a rich person or a celebrity with a particular breed of dog, whatever it might be. But people who get a breed because they're expensive or because they signify something, rarity or something else. You know where I'm going with this. People who use their dog breed as a flex. It's better to be selfless when you make this decision than selfish, if you know what I mean. The last one is YOLO or FOMO. You want to live your best life and you don't want to miss out on any of these great life experiences. For example, that milestone of getting your first dog with your partner, right? A lot of people love and dream about this moment. Trust me, just take the time and make sure that this is something you actually really want to do and you're ready to face those challenges that come with it. That FOMO is something that you put on yourself. Nobody else is really looking at you and thinking, why don't you have a dog? That's completely silly. You're the only one who has this fantasy in your mind. And when I think about this category, it makes me think a little bit about our desire as humans to meet these milestones and to realize some of our dreams without maybe considering the realities that come with it. So before you jump into having that big mortgage and that white picket fence, you're going to want to consider, right, the actual sacrifices that comes with that lifestyle and those choices. The same applies for having a dog. So that's it for today's lesson, guys. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you found the activity categories useful to you. It'll give you a little food for thought for your big decision. Whatever you decide, I wish you the best of luck and ask that you subscribe so you can stick around for some more doggy training videos or some more exploration videos. I'd love to know also what breed you decided up getting and why. So please comment down below to let me know what breed you got and why, and if you regret it or not. I would love to hear your story. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for listening. Please stick around for the next video. Please subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.